Yeah, this is my boy Levi Bootcut. He might be working out tonight with us. Go check him out. Um, I put the info in the chat. So, welcome back, everybody. I got my own gym now. Just kidding. This is, I believe, episode 8 of my live stream series. So we've been doing it every week. The biggest thing for me is just getting people to move, even if it's just one time a week. Simple exercises you can do at home, or even with just like light dumbbells, like what we do most of the time. Just get people moving, work the full body. And today we're going to be focused on hip mobility as well as doing a full body workout. So we're going to do a 10-minute warm up, which is basically going to be all hip mobility stuff. And then we're going to do about a 20-minute workout and then a cool down with some stretching and things like that. So what we want to do, start with the 5-way hip mobility circuit. It's going to be five different exercises, all for the hips, working at each range of motion of the hip. And what you want to do is do 12 reps for all of these. And I'm going to go through each one of them one at a time. And then we'll do 12 on one side, then we'll do 12 on the other. First up is going to be hip flexion. So front of the legs. You want to start on the ground. Okay. That's not going to be good. So, what we want to do, audio is perfect, thanks. So what we want to do is you're going to have one leg down, like so. Thank you, Archer. He is my assistant today. Hi, Archer. Your breath smells bad, but you're a cute boy. All right, none of that. You're right by the mic, dog. So what you're going to do, I'm going to have this leg go first. You're going to lift your leg, but not all the way up. What you want to do is lift it just to the height of your other knee. We're just trying to work the hip flexor here. So nice and easy, you should go at a pause at the top, and then a slight pause before you hit the ground. 12 repetitions. Move. It's nice and easy. We want to work the front of the hip here. Archer, chill out, dog. And if you do 12 and you don't have a burn, you should be going way slower then and try to pause at the top. So then switch legs. I like to have my back nice and flat and put my head back. Oops, see, that's a little bit too high right there. So you want to go just to where that other foot, or your the height of your knee on your other leg, with your foot flat on the ground. A little too high again. So yeah, you got to watch that. We're going to want to bring it all the way up, but we're just going to try to keep the tension right on the hip flexor. And this whole circuit you can do multiple times a week to increase flexibility of your hips. If you have low back pain, hip pain, or you just feel tight in the hamstrings or the hip flexors, really everybody can benefit from it, but especially low back pain and hip pain or lack of flexibility. You do this 3 times a week, 2 times through. We're just going to do it 1 time through, and it will really help the mobility of your hips tremendously. So that was hip flexion. Then we want to go what we call clamshells. So you want to keep your heels push into each other, all right? And you can either be here with your arm, kind of in a side plank position. This is going to work more core right here. You just don't want to sag down. You want to stay up here. Or you can actually lay to your side and do the same thing. I'm going to be up here just to get some extra core work and so I can see everything. What we want to do, rotate to here as far as you can, and where you can actually hold and squeeze the glute, and then push your feet together and your knees together when you come back down. And we want to do 12 reps like this. It looks easy, but trust me, if you do a 3-second pause at the top, squeeze your glutes, and just work nice and easy, you're going to feel a good burn in muscles that just don't. They tend to be underactive in that area. So we're searching for that burn, baby. Let's go. Four more. Oh yeah. Don't be afraid to really pause up there. If I go through all 12 myself and I don't feel like I got much of a burn, I could do more reps, go to 15, maybe 20, but the next set I'll just hold it longer, or the last few reps I'll just really hold it a lot longer to make sure I get a good activation of the glute there. Your gluteus medius side of your butt really works this muscle, or is really worked during this exercise. Your gluteus maximus is like the main part, the big part of your butt in the back, but your external rotator of your hip, one of the external rotators is called your gluteus medius, as well as a few other, but that really helps isolate that area. So we're going to change sides. Remember, push your heels into each other and up like that. You don't want to be in a straight leg position because we're going to do that later. You want to be at a 45 or 90 degree angle. Slight bend in the knee. Can you check Facebook and see if we have any people commenting on? Because last time I wasn't able to talk to Facebook much because I wasn't able to see the screen. I just commented after. Nice. So this one is actually harder for me. I don't have as much range of motion, so I'm really focusing on this side. I'm going to do a couple more reps on this side. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple more reps on this side so I can strengthen this side compared to the right side that's a little bit more dominant for me. So that's number 2. So far we had hip flexion, and then we had clamshells, and now we want to do the third direction for the hips, and that's going to be kind of like a Superman position, but you're not going to be spread out with your arms. You're just going to lay like so, and we're just going to be chilling. You can put your chin down here, or you can have it on the side, or you can look forward. What you want to do is lift your leg straight up into extension of the hip, but while I do this, I'm pushing my right side down to just help with the stretch and activate both legs. I'm kind of locking the right one down to work this one. And we're going to do 12 reps just like the others.
Winston.
Sorry, buddy. The dogs see other dogs outside. Hi, Betty. Hi, Betty. You're a cute bee. So, yeah, every time someone walks by, Archer's always got to start something. There he is. Hi. Thanks, bud. Don't put your butt in my face, please. But make sure you get a good pause at the top here and push your heel, back your heel to the sky. You don't want to bend much, and you're also going to be activating the hamstrings. So this is actually a really good one that looks easier than it actually is. Hi, Winston. So switch sides. Thank you for the kisses. Thank you. So once again, 12 reps. If you do all 12 and you don't have much of a burn, go hold it longer, do another set, or continue that set, go for about 5 more reps, holding it up there longer. You're going to get a good burn on the back of the leg. So that's that's the third one. That's extension of the hip. Then we want to go to hip abduction, A, B, and then duction. And basically what you're going to be doing is lifting them all the way up and back down. This is the one that a lot of people recognize. And the one right after this is really important too. So this works the outer hip, but differently than when we did the clam. So we want to pause up here, back down. Still going to work more on the side of the hip here. And we want to do 12 reps, slow on the way down. 12 reps, slow on the way down. And if you missed the opening scene, the music for this stream is brought to you by my friend Levi Bootcut and the Straight Legs. I got the info in the chat there, and I'll post it to you on this Facebook video too, so you guys can go check him out because he is amazing. And he gave me permission to play his music, so I've been playing it a lot on my streams. So let's switch sides. Okay, so here and back down. Once again, just warming up here, trying to work our hip, all the ranges of motion of our hip, I was trying to say. And just, if you do this circuit, you know, even just once a week to start, getting a consistent, where you're doing it, consistent routine where you're doing it every week, then you can bump it up. It can really help a lot of different problems in your hips, like flexibility issues or certain weird pains in your hip with or without moving. You know, like if you're sitting for long periods of time, your hip flexors get used to sitting and they're going to become underactive, and they could actually feel tight, but what you want to do is work them dynamically instead of just stretching them by itself. That's one example. So then we're going to do hip adduction, where basically it's the opposite of that movement. We want to lift this leg up. Excuse me one sec. Got a little tickle in my throat. Apologize for the gallon jug. It's all the water I had sitting around. I already started the stream late today, so I didn't feel like filling anything up. So you want to start here. Keep this leg nice and strong. And you want to lift up as far as you can. You're not going to be able to go very far, and it's going to be a little pressure on the backside. So you can actually turn more on your butt as opposed to right here. You can turn it back. And you want to lift it to the sky, and you're just going to work the inner leg here. And make sure you pause. 1, 2, 3. Like a 3-second pause at the top there. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. Weather's definitely starting to change. I've actually committed to wearing pants this weekend. It was pretty cold Sunday morning, and I actually wore sweatpants for the first time, and then wore jeans when we went out. But I wore shorts today. So then you want to do 12 reps each side. So let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. So once again, you want to keep this leg flat, or your foot flat on the ground here. Keep this one nice and strong. and then you're gonna lift, turn your foot like this, lift it up, and then instead of being on your side, you want to rotate back to like here. So it'll be a little more comfortable, you'll be a little bit more on your butt, but not all the way, as opposed to like the side of your hip. So you want to do this 2 times through, 12 repetitions at least for each one. It's really like 30 seconds of work for each leg. And do it once or twice a week to start, get a consistent routine going, and I promise you, you will not regret it. You're gonna feel a lot more loose in the hips. It's really like a lot of, these are all corrective exercises, but they're very simple, just to work every muscle group in the hips. A big weak point is the inner thigh here in a lot of people. You can cause your knees to kind of turn out a little bit. If this side is, if these are a lot stronger, it can actually cause your, if the inner leg's a little stronger, it can actually cause your knee to come in. And if these are stronger and these are weaker, you know, it causes them to pull back out. So that's an imbalance you could fix with this. So then we want to do a little bit more of an intense dynamic exercise before, to warm up the upper body before we go into everything. So we're going to do one more thing. It's called bent over reverse fly. And you want to get, you can actually do it with no weight here, or you can use about 3 pounds, which is what I got. And you want to get in a Romanian deadlift position or a hinge. So you're basically not squatting, you're hinging at the hips like this. And then you're just gonna drop your torso a little bit lower so you have a nice flat back. If you find yourself like this and like forward, your knees are forward and your back's rounded, you wanna try to push your butt back so the weight shifts to more of your heels, and then pull your abs in so you can get like this. Do your best. And then what you're gonna do, I gotta turn this way, bring them out to here, squeeze the shoulder blades. Once again, do not use more than like 3 pounds, because if you have 5, you won't be able to do that many. We need to get 12 reps here, 12 to 15. I'm only using 3 pounds, and you can actually do it with no weight. But make sure you straighten your arms at the top, and basically you're going to pinch your shoulder blades back. So we work the upper back muscles, your traps, your rhomboids, the parts of your rotator cuff, and the rear part of your shoulder. So a great exercise to warm up your upper body, but we're also working the lower body because we got to keep this hip hinge. So my hamstrings and my lower back has to work to keep us up. So let's do 4 more of those. Great exercise for the upper back, like I said. Anytime I can combine like 2 movements in one and make it more dynamic and more of a balanced type exercise, I'm down for it. Makes your mind think about it a little more, you know. So then we're gonna do Romanian deadlift. Same position, but we're gonna work the hamstrings, and then dumbbell shoulder press. We'll do that for 2 rounds. You can do a max of 4 if you go and do this on your own. And then we do basically like a 10-second break after both, 10 to 20 seconds. And then we go to the next 2 exercises, same form, and then so on, and then we cool down. So Romanian deadlift, if you watched my streams before, you kind of know what those look like. You want to go here, and I lower the weights, or if you're just doing with body weight, your hands right about to the mid part of your shin. And we want to do a minute work of that. Then you're going to go to shoulder press after that. So shoulder press is going to be here, and we do 1 minute of that. and then we would do a 20-second break, roughly do it again, and then we'll go through the rest. So let's get her going. So starting with the RDL, push those hips back.
Winston?
So keep moving, I'm just gonna move the camera. So you can really see like how my legs look. Here we go. These help build your hamstrings and the glutes and can help naturally stretch the hip flexors if you have tight hip flexors from sitting too much or just in general. And then our lower back right here and our core has to work too. So it's a great way to work the posterior chain and your core muscles and really build up a strong core. Then we're going to go to shoulder press. So grab, and for the remaining deadlift there, I'm only using 3 pounds, but you can use a little bit heavier. I'm just doing it for simplicity. I would recommend like 10 pounds or 5 if you're a beginner, 15 and 20 if you kind of do them, if you've done them before. And then 3 pounds to 5 pounds for the shoulder press, because it's a whole minute. And you don't want to use too much weight. And I'm not going to be here. I'm pulling my elbows so they're slightly pointed forward. And you press them over your head. If you can't do full extension like me, that's all right. That's just a lack of mobility in your back. So just do your best. Try to fully extend as much as you can. Slow on the way down. Our back muscles, our lats, are actually controlling this motion here. And then obviously our shoulders are working to push them up. A little bit of our chest, mostly the shoulder and the triceps. 10 seconds. Nice. So we do a 20-second break, and then we go through that again. So grab your water or whatever you got. Sorry if it's not, the autofocus is a little off. Sometimes it's messed up. It looks good right now. All right, back to it. Remaining deadlift. You want to push your hips back. Have a flat back. And just work those hamstrings. Still got 40 seconds. It's nice and easy. Have your stance about shoulder width apart or even a little more narrow. Have your toes pointed forward. Don't turn them out. And you're actually pushing your weight distribution more to your heels. So in theory, like your toes, there's less weight on your toes. And they can come up slightly when you do hinge. Then you're gonna go to shoulder press. I'm gonna do a seated variation, just on my knees, or you can do it in a chair. Standing press is okay as well. And go ahead. So I'm using 3 pounds because my left shoulder is a bit sore from an injury a couple months ago. So I'm still nursing that. So I just usually do a lot less weight with this motion. I usually can do, a lot more, but. So pick a lighter weight than you think you need and just go slow. Do full extension. 15 seconds. If you feel a burn, keep going through it. If you have to decrease the weight because it's too heavy, that's all right. Go ahead and do that. And 20-second break. So just for time's sake, we're going to keep it short. We're only going to do 2 sets of everything. But if you go and do this again, I advise you to do like 3 sets for sure. So, and you up to 4. So next we're going to go to mountain climber to thoracic extension. So it's a ground exercise, and it's not just a mountain climber, it's actually a mobility exercise, but it can work really well to get the heart rate up and everything too. So I found it's a really good exercise. So what you want to do, you're going to go up to a plank here. So I'm going to be at a plank. Don't start yet, just watch me. You want to come up to almost like a mountain climber motion, but we also call it a Spider-Man climber or something like that. So your legs here, that's going to work on the flexibility here. And then you're going to, with this arm, you're going to reach here and across. And then you're going to come back, switch sides. So I'll bring this leg up, reach forward, and across. I actually got this exercise from a fellow streamer on Twitch. I forget his first name, but it's he does a lot of mobility exercises with all body weight. Really, really awesome exercise. Because I always did this one just like this, and he kind of switched it up. So that's a great exercise. So we're going to do that for a minute, and then you're going to switch that to tricep press. So you're going to be on the ground, and you want to grab, I don't know, something 5 to 10 pounds if you're a beginner. And if you're more advanced, you can grab a little more. But instead of doing like a press like this where your elbows are flat out, bring them in here. You want to keep the tension on our triceps here, and then I'm going to squeeze my chest in the middle. So I'm actually going to start here and then bring them together with my palms facing each other. So it's sort of like a tricep press with a fly. Really activate the chest and the tris at the same time. So we'll do a minute of that as well. So we'll start with the mountain climber to flexion to thoracic extension first. So up to a plank. If you can't do a plank, you can do it from a table position like this. That would be a good modification. But if you can't do a good plank, try to do it. Here, reach forward and across. Switch sides, forward and across. And you want to do 5 reps or 8 reps on each side. Try to keep a nice strong plank. If you find yourself like this, either drop down to your knees or bring your butt down. Yeah, so it's probably don't get all 16 reps in, but 5 each side would probably be more attainable. Because that's a minute right there. I'm just going to finish this one up. Always finish the last rep that you're doing. Otherwise, you're just kind of cheating yourself. So then we want to do tricep press. So I'm going to grab 5s for that, or 7.5 actually. Just because for my shoulder, I'm going a little lighter. And you want to start here, press them up. If you don't have weights at home, you actually can do like kind of like a push-up instead, with a more of a narrow grip, like your hands about shoulder width apart. Push your elbows back as instead of going to the side. I can show a variation for that. Or grab some like soup cans or something like in each hand, or like a sandbag, weights or something like that. Or you could try it with, no weight, and you'd still be working the muscle groups. So you got 10 seconds. So if you don't have any weights, you want to do the push-up version, you basically would, instead of being really out here, I would bring them in, and I would push my push my elbows back like that, as opposed to like out. And if you can't do a push-up, then you bring your arms out here and you do a modified push-up like that. And that would be a good way to work the same muscle group. So then we got to go back to the mountain climber, to thoracic extension plus flexion. So once again, if you can't stay in the mountain climber that long, do it from here like this. But up to a plank, forward, and across. Just working for a minute here, or about 5 reps each side. And then we go to tricep press. So hands here, keep them close to your side, as opposed to flaring them out. Press them up. And go ahead. 1 minute. Feeling the burn. I hope you guys are feeling it. It's really hot in here, so I'm sweating. I can't really turn the AC on because it messes with my green screen. And it's super noisy, so my mic picks it up. It's okay, I'm just gonna burn more calories, sweat more, and take a shower after. Don't go too slow here, and make sure you squeeze your chest. If you're not feeling it too much in the chest, add about 2 seconds more right here at the top. Even I was kind of going a little fast. When I talk, I speed up my reps. Slow on the way down, press up. That's a better example. If you can, inhale through your mouth, or inhale through your nose when you go down, exhale through your mouth when you go up. Like that. So, nice. So then we want to go reverse crunch. So we're going back to some abs. And then forward lunge to curl. Oh yeah, so this is a new one that I came up with, that I decided to put in the routine. So the reverse crunch, I've done it on my past videos. Really good way to work the lower body, or the lower abs and the uppers, without overworking the hip flexors. Because what happens is, if you do a lot of leg lifts, yeah, it works your abs, but it puts a lot of tension on your hip flexors, and they tend to take over, your thigh muscles here. So what you want to do is have your back flat, and we're only gonna lower to about here, where my knee's just past my hip. This would be like kind of right in line. This would be really far down, not quite touching the ground. And then I'm gonna bring them up to here. My butt slightly comes off the floor, and my lower back kind of stays there. It just slightly comes up, and I'm tucking in my belly, like sucking it in. And then I lower down slowly. Repeat. So that would be 1 minute of that. And then a new one that I got going on for you guys is going to be a forward lunge you can't do a lunge, you can just do the curl part. You're gonna step forward, lunge, and then curl. Step back. And you probably just try to do like 5 or 6 reps or a minute, because if you don't have the right balance, good balance for it, then it'll be difficult. See if we can get a better view for you. So you're gonna step forward here, right? Lunge, curl, step back, switch sides, switch legs, lunge, curl, and go back. So then we want to do that for a minute, and then we do it one more time around. If you can't do the lunge, you could do a squat and then curl. That would be good too. And with the lunge, you kind of want to be in this position, not too far out and not too narrow. Okay. So, starting with the reverse crunch. Let's do it. 1 minute. Start them about here, tuck in, and lower. This is a great one for your lower abs, especially if you've had trouble, like, feeling ab exercises in the lower area. But it's very basic and straightforward and very effective. You can cross your legs if you like. Try to keep the tension here more than on the hip flexors, especially since we're about to do some lunges, so your thighs are going to be feeling it. Yeah. So even that was a little low. I want to bring them to about here. Just keep the tension right on your abs there. Your rectus abdominis. 20 seconds. If you don't have a burn in your abs yet, then slow it down, pause a little more, and just try to think about it more. Pull your belly in. And we'll go to lunge. So you're going to do forward step, drop the back knee, curl, bring them back in, bring your foot back in. Switch sides, drop that back knee, push off that front heel, and change sides. This one really challenges your coordination as well. I really got to focus on this one. Don't cheat the curl. You can use like 5 to 10 pounds, I guess, but I'll keep it light just for mobility and being able to have good form. Or not mobility, balance. That's what I meant to say. But if you have good mobility, you tend to have good balance too. I'm guarding this one because I have a little bit of a pulled hip flexor right now, so if my form looks weird on that leg, that's why. I can't really get my back leg all the way down. I pulled it skateboarding last night. Okay, so then we do 20-second break. Let's get some water, folks. How's everyone's day going? This is like my second workout of the day. I trained clients earlier too. Feeling good. Let's do it. Reverse crunch. Movement is medicine, mental and physical. Can relieve stress. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys this, but just reminding you, it relieves a lot of anxiety. And we're born to move. That's why my business is called Destined to Move. We are destined to move. We really are. We sit too much as a society, and it's slowly killing us. Lack of movement and lack of exercise. You want to shoot for 30 minutes a day of some sort of physical activity exercise is kind of more of a form of physical activity, structured form of physical activity. You usually have a set point that you want to exercise for. When physical activity in general, would be like going on a walk or something like that. You want to get 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, or split into, two 15-minute intervals or something, at least. That's a good reference from the American College of Sports Medicine. That's what they recommend to have a healthy heart and energy expenditure, keep a healthy weight, and honestly, for me, it's a mental thing. Really helps me stay focused and not so groggy and flush those toxins out. So, I lost my spot here, sorry. Oh yeah, forward lunge plus curl. So you got an extra rest there. You're welcome. Forward lunge. Whoop. If you lose your balance, don't force it, just come back to the start position and try it again. Switch legs. Nice work, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Facebook, Twitch. I'll have these I'm gonna edit these videos and put them up on my YouTube and on my Facebook page. Facebook.com/ I did 2 curls there. / live workouts with Logan is my business page. My YouTube is just Logan Murray. And last one. Finish that last rep you're on. So, just a quick review before we do a cool down. You want to get a good warm up in. We did 5-way hip, where you do, flexion first, and then we did clams like that, and then we did hip extension, and then we did this one, and then adduction. So we did all that for like 12 to 15 reps on each side, real slow. That was our warm up. And then we did bent over reverse fly as well, which was this one. So you can do a warm up of your choice or do the one I had, bent over reverse fly. Then you want to do the main workout part 3 times through. So you got 2 exercises at a time. You do them 3 times through with a 20-second break after you do both. Work for a minute each set. Then you go to the next stage. Do the same thing, then the third one. Then you want to do this cool down, or a cool down of your choice, which is like stretching and just literally cooling down. We want to do cat-cow pose because we did some back work today. So cat-cow into child's pose transition. And it's more of a dynamic motion. So we're going to go into each stretch and out of each stretch about 5 times. So you want to go cat. I'm pushing through my palms all the way to the sky. Really going to stretch out our thoracic spine. Hold it for about 3 seconds. Then go to cow. And then you're going to go down to child's pose like that. So we want to do that 5 times. And just kind of sit in each one for a couple seconds. Probably sit in this one the longest. Get a good stretch on the back. Then we go to cow. Exhale or inhale to child's pose. And then back out. So we do that 3 more times. Push up through the sky. Cow. Kind of push your butt back. And down to child's pose. And 2 more times. Inhale through the sky. Exhale to the ground. Push your hips back. Awesome. You with me? 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Then we want to go to what I call a pretzel stretch. I always just feel that my legs get twisted up like a pretzel. Oh, I should probably show this direction. Oh, give me 1 sec. Gotta fix this. So, what you're gonna do is start like this, cross your leg over, like that, and then you're gonna lift it up. And we're gonna be stretching this side. Then you want to take this arm, grab your behind your leg, your thigh, behind your thigh, your hamstring, and then this one through the hole, the window that your leg makes. Put your back down, your head back, or put something behind your head if you can't, and then just pull straight into your chest. And we're gonna stretch the right side. Actually, the right side is what I meant. So this glute here, we're stretching a muscle that's the external rotator of your hip. Basically, brings your hip out. That gets underused, called the piriformis, as well as some others that are in there. I always thought that one was a funny name. So it's also good just to stretch after a workout. We did some lunges and a lot of hip motion. So hold it for about 30 seconds each time you stretch. Give the muscle time to, feel the stretch and create those adaptions, which is going to increase your flexibility over time. Switch sides. You don't want to just stretch for 10 seconds, call it good. You want to do a nice long stretch, just like we do a minute of work and exercise to get the burn. We want to get a good 30 seconds to a minute in on the stretch too, to work the flexibility adaptions, as opposed to like the strength adaptions for, weightlifting or something. So give it time to release. And then we do that 2 times. If you're holding it for like a minute, still do it 2 times, but if you can only do like 30 seconds, ease off a little bit so you're not like wincing when you're stretching. You want a light stretch and hold it a long time versus like a really hard stretch where you're wincing and you can't hold it long. You're just going to be doing more harm than good. So light stretch, hold it for the full 30. Change sides. Oh, this one's a lot tighter actually. So then we got 90-90 stretch, also for the hips. Basically, your back leg is going to be, I did this last week too. Ankle is lined up with the knee, knees lined up with the hip. You want to push that leg into the ground. Then have your front leg do the same thing. Okay? And it creates a 90 degree here, 90 degree here. Then you want to push your legs both into the ground to have a stretch here and here. But then you want to lean forward towards your front knee, like so, while pushing your hips down, and that's going to stretch up in here. And depending on how far you can go, it'll increase your stretch. And I can actually get down to here, but you got to make sure you can still push your legs in. Don't just have them sitting there. I'm actually pushing them into the ground. And I can get to about as far as here, but here is also fine if you're not very flexible or if you've never done it before. And then change sides. Almost done. I forgot to go to my sorry about that. I was supposed to have you guys on this part so we can cool down in a nice meditation zone. So you want to get your hips 90-90 like that. Push your hips into the ground and then lean forward like so. And you want to hold that for about 30 seconds. Try to inhale and exhale through it. Nice deep breaths. And then the last one is actually really straightforward, neck circles. So with some of the exercises, some of the exercises might make your neck kind of tight, but also just having weak shoulder or strong shoulders, weak back, and sitting forward all the time, it takes a toll on your neck, especially if the muscles in your upper back are weak, like I said. So doing neck circles after a workout, before a workout, or just in general is really good. What you want to do, slow and go as the far as you can in the range of motion. So like I'm gonna go all the way forward. I'm gonna go all the way to the side. Put slow and controlled because you're like stretching it dynamically. And we do 5 repetitions each side. But don't go fast. Seriously, just go slow and try to get full range of motion because like there's a stretch here, stretch in the back of the neck here, kind of moves to the side there, but it's in the back and now all the way on the side. So you want to achieve that on each direction. And then change sides. If one side feels a little tighter than the other, you can sort of hold it a little bit. Keep going after you hold it. Awesome. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm going to get some food. We got some sushi and some Japanese stir fry from this place on Alpine in Grand Rapids. So we're going to get some food. I hope you all have a great weekend. I'm probably going to be doing a live stream again next Wednesday. And I'm not sure what muscle group yet, but it's probably going to be like full body and like some other type of flexibility stuff. Feel free to message me if you want to see something specific, or if you have in trouble doing the workout, or you need modification for anything of the exercises or anything like that. Awesome. So God bless y'all. Stay moving. Movement is medicine. I will talk to you later. See ya.